Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the subject Cryptography and Network Security, which is prescribed by KTU for the final year students. So moving on to the introduction. Here we are going to learn what is the relevance of network security or what is network security. So network security measures are needed to protect the data during their transmission. As we all know, we live in a world where there are huge amount of data that is being produced day by day. So it is not just the production of data, but these data is also getting transmitted. So we need methods or means by which you need to protect these data. So this network security is all about measures about how to prevent, detect, and correct the security violations that are involved while transmitting data. So once again, this network security is all about how you can prevent, detect, and correct the security violations that are involved while you're transmitting data. So when you're transmitting data electronically, there are certain basic features we need to achieve in order for a secured electronic transfer. So let's see what are those basic features. So as listed here, these are some of the basic features that are required for every data that is getting transmitted through an electronic transmission medium. So this data need to be authenticated. You need proper access control, data confidentiality, data integrity, and non-reputation. So these are the basic features that are required or that need to be taken care while data is getting transmitted from one medium to another. Now let's move on to the details of these 5 features. First one is authentication. So what is this authentication? Authentication assures the recipient that the message that comes from a source is actually what it is claimed to be. So authentication is nothing but it ensures the recipient or the end user that the message whatever he have received is actually coming from the correct source or it is authenticated data. That is what is meant by authentication. Now the next network security feature is access control. We know that certain kind of data need to be available only for certain people. So access control is the ability to limit and control the access to host systems via the communication link. So as we have seen, only a certain kind of users are allowed to see certain type of data. Some data are really confidential or only the top people of a company need to see such kind of data. So how you can provide such kind of a level for that? You can only set such kind of level only by this access control. You provide access controls for different job roles or different persons. So only those authorized persons will be having access to a host system or a data. This will eventually prevent unauthorized use of a resource. So that is what is meant by access control. You are controlling the access to a specific data. Now the next important thing is confidentiality. That is, you have to ensure that the transmitted data, it is protected against all kind of passive attacks such as eavesdropping and monitoring. So what do you mean by this passive attack? So there are actually two type of attacks. There is active attack as well as passive attack. Okay, so let's first see what passive attack is. So passive attack means, an example of passive attack is eavesdropping or monitoring. That means data is only being read. That is, it is only being read but not modified. It is not modified. So that is what is meant by passive attack. That is, you are not modifying the data or the source data. Some intruder is just reading the data. That is what is meant by passive attack. But in case of active attack, it is not just reading the data, but also you are modifying the data. Okay, so that is two kinds of attack, active and passive. But data confidentiality ensures that the data that is transmitted is protected against passive attacks such as eavesdropping or monitoring. Eavesdropping means overhearing the data. Okay. Now the next feature is data integrity. This will ensure that the data is not corrupted in any way. You are exactly receiving the same data that was sent by the sender entity. Okay, so you can trust your data. That is what is meant by data integrity. So whatever that is being received by the recipient is exactly what it has been sent by the sender. That is, it is not modified at all. That is what is ensured in data integrity. Now, non-repudiation. Nowadays, non-repudiation is an important feature that is required. That is, if you're doing a bank transfer and after some time you're claiming that I haven't done that bank transfer, there are such kind of fraudulent users. So, this non-repudiation is protection of denial by one of the entities of having participated in a communication. So if this person is sending a particular data or sending a transaction intimation to the bank saying that transfer some 1,000 rupees to a particular account, after some time he is denying that I didn't ask this transfer or I didn't initiate this transfer. So the bank will be liable to pay back that money or deposit that 1,000 rupees back to his account. So non-repudiation is, it is providing or it is protecting that this person cannot deny this particular origination of this message. That is, he cannot deny that he haven't given an instruction to the bank about the transfer. That is what is meant by non-repudiation. So these are the major important features that need to be taken care to ensure that data that is transmitted through a communication medium is being protected. So let's once again see all those 5 features that ensures network security. It is authentication, access control, data confidentiality, data integrity, and non-repudiation. Now this